Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Trello for Fosters training. This training is designed to get you familiar with the Trello board, what's there, what we use it for, and everything related to that. So one of the reasons why we use Trello or an online foster manual is because we notice that not everybody's on Facebook. And for those of us that are on Facebook, things get buried on the Facebook group. It's hard to find. It's not great for searching. And having a paper manual, foster manual, gets outdated really quickly. It's inconvenient to have to print them. If something does change, so we have to make sure that everybody who has the manual gets the updated information. So it's just not efficient. So I do have some notes here that I'm going to refer to just because I want to make sure that I cover everything that's needed in this training. So first of all, thank you for fostering. Fostering can feel really overwhelming, especially in the beginning. There's a really steep learning curve, and so you can get lost, frustrated, and you second guess yourself a lot because they are kitten lives, and so you want to make sure that you're doing everything right. So it can be very nervous. So one of the reasons why the Trello board is so great is because everything is in black and white, and you can read it and refer to it. You second guess yourself, you can go look at it again, and so it's pretty self-sufficient in that way. So tonight I'm going to show you how to use the Trello board and what's on the Trello board and how to access all the information there. So let's just hop into Trello. First of all, you would have been given a login or a way to create a login for Trello. It's free to use, and obviously it's free to put on your phone. Most people will access it on their phone, and it is smartphone optimized. I actually prefer to use it on my phone than on the desktop. I just think it's easier, quicker, to swipe rather than using the mouse. And secondly, as the admin of the Trello board, I actually do a lot of the updates and adding stuff from my phone. Because if you think about it, you're probably on your phone when you are finding new resources or you want to copy and paste something from one of the fosters to insert it into one of the cards. So anyway, I use it mostly on my phone as well. So it's a good idea to set it as a shortcut on your homepage so that you have easy access to it whenever you want. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up Trello, and I'm going to open it up as if I am not an admin. So I'm opening it up how you would look at it yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll jump over to Trello. Okay, so the way that the Trello board is organized is from left to right. So you'll start on the left as a new foster, or starting with a new litter of kittens. You want to sign up and say, hey, I am ready for some fosters. So you will start on the left-hand side. So, the other thing about Trello is that it is organized into categories, or in our case, into stages of fostering. And again, from left to right. And each column has cards. And you can click on a card and it'll open it up and bring you to some more information. So we will start in the left-hand column, and this assumes that you're learning Trello for the first time. So you can go in here and it has an on-deck survey. We don't really use the Facebook group anymore, so you can ignore that. But then it also has a primer on how to use the Trello board. So then we can go to the next item. So this is the orientation. You most likely have already taken the orientation if you have signed up to foster. And the next most important card is what we call the on-deck survey. So if you can imagine, one of the coordinators might be at a municipal shelter, and the municipal shelter director asks us, hey, can you take this 8-year-old cat? We're really trying to find a foster space for him. And a lot of the fosters, you might be at work or at your kid's tennis practice, or what, you could be doing a million things. You aren't able to answer the phone right away. So if I was to call you and ask if you can take an 8-year-old cat, I might not get an answer right away. But if you filled out the online survey, I can go to it, or the coordinator, whoever's at the municipal shelter, can go to it and say, Lori said that she would foster a senior cat this time. Well, then I know that I can pull that 8-year-old cat. But if I go there and nobody has signed up for a mom and kittens, well, then I know that I don't have a foster space for a mom and kittens. So you can pick various categories on that on deck survey. And let us know what categories you're interested in. But again, you'll just click on the on deck, it pulls up a form. And once you have filled out the form, it sends it directly to me so that when I'm out in the field, I know what we can take and how long you're able to foster for. It has information about all about that as well. So, and then it gauges what your comfort level is on certain categories and stuff. So that gives you an idea. Okay. So that's the on deck survey. Super important to fill that out when you're ready to foster the next batch of kittens or the next senior or the next, whatever. So, okay. And then there's some additional information in there. Okay. So then we go over here. Okay. So you're deciding that you're going to foster something. And so you have accepted, for the sake of this example, we're just going to continue to use an eight-year-old cat just to make it simple. So you would do an intake form because you've taken the cat in. Sometimes you might take in because your sister has a litter of kittens that she found, and so you might end up fostering them. And so, whatever you end up taking in needs to be filled out a form for so that we can get them into our system. So, okay, so we have assigned you and asked you to take an 8-year-old cat, and you've taken the cat in, so you're going to fill out this form. And you're going to fill it out the best that you can. Sometimes you're going to know where the cat came from. And so then you'll mark it. But if you don't know, you're going to say, no idea, got the cat from Carrie, ask her. So, and then Lori will text me and ask, and I'll get that information to her. But again, just fill it out the best you can with all of the information so that she knows what we have in inventory. Okay, so that's the intake form. Okay, and so now you've got to set the cat up in some way. It could be a litter of kittens, mom and kittens, 8-year-old cat. And there's lots of ideas here on animal proofing your home so that it's a safe environment. And then how are you going to house the cat? So it could be in a playpen, could be in a bathroom, could be in this fancy panel system. It could be in this dreadful cat condos. We hate these. We don't use them. We don't advise them. An X pen that would really be more designed for very small kittens. Otherwise, an 8-year-old cat can probably just jump over that. A wire dog crate. This is what we used a lot in the beginning because we had access to them, but we don't really use those anymore. That's really a feral cat setup anyway for fostering. So that's just specific to that. And then one of probably our second favorite setup are the Ferret Nation cages. And this is actually Lori's setup in her room, in her house, and it takes up a 2-foot by 3-foot footprint, and it builds up. So you can have a lot of vertical space that takes up very little footprint. And then here's a gallery of lots of other rescues and fosters ideas for effective setups that make good use of space. But generally, we are using these playpens. Now, on the playpens that you get, it does have a QR code that will link to videos on how to set it up. Like what's the optimal setup? Where do you put the litter box? Where do you put the food and water bowls and that kind of thing? So, and it also has a QR code on how to fold it up at the end. And you'll see that to the right as we get towards the right-hand side of the board on how to fold them up. So really important. Okay, so the big areas that you guys will mostly focus on is this column, the medical resources. Obviously, almost every single cat that comes to our care needs to be spayed or neutered, unless they happen to come to us already done, which does happen quite often when we're pulling from our municipal municipal shelter partners. So sometimes they'll already be done. But you can take a look at the spay neuter partners that we have. We really are focusing on 2 vet clinics right now, and that's the Greensburg one and the Lebanon one. Generally, if we're going to Lebanon, we're trying to bring a car full of cats at a time. We've brought as many as 30 in one day, but Greensburg does limit us to 3 per day, and they generally do those on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So that gives you an idea of what might be most convenient for you. We do rely on the fosters to do most of the transport themselves. We tend to have the fosters be self-sufficient. However, we do have a pretty good network of fosters that are willing to transport for each other or pick up at the end of the day and that kind of thing. So if you're having trouble transporting back and forth, please do reach out and we can figure out a solution for that. And then for each clinic, I'm going to focus on Greensboro because that's where we take most of the adoptable cats. There is a form that you have to fill out. So let's say that you've scheduled it for July 9th. And the cats are already registered with the vet clinic for their appointment. Well, they still have a form that they want us to fill out the night before, the morning of, and that form will link to this card. It's a separate card, and then you click on that to do the form, and it brings up this form that you're going to fill out, and it sends it directly to the vet clinic so that they know what is coming and what that cat needs. And it's really important that you don't fill this out before the day of the surgery or the night before surgery. They've asked us to do it, a very specific timeline. So we want to respect that to make their process work as smoothly as possible. But I will scroll down and let's see. And so for this case, it's going to be a spay-neuter appointment. So you'll click on that and it will automatically auto-populate spay-neuter, rabies, and FERCP, which are the 3 things that we want every cat to do. You can also add a note, like if you've seen tapeworms or something like that, you can add that to the basically the order. You're basically ordering what you want to have the cat get that day during surgery. So, but we can click out of that. And then the next most popular one you're going to have is very similar to the spay-neuter one, but it's a vet appointment. So let's say the cat is sick, it has diarrhea, maybe it has an injury, something like that. You would have made an appointment for the clinic, and the night before or the morning of, you're going to fill out a form that's very similar to the spay-neuter one. So you'll click on that. It'll bring up a jot form. And again, you will fill that out the night before, the morning of. Some people just do it in the parking lot when they park and they get to the clinic, they'll go ahead and fill it out then, and that's just fine. And so you'll fill out all the normal stuff, but when you get down to the sick or injured, then it's going to open up a visit note so that you can tell them generally what has been going on. You're going to see the doctor, but it's helpful just to put in there, the cat has been limping for 2 days, or liquid diarrhea, it's like the consistency of heavy cream or something like that. So you really want to try to give them some ideas as to what's going on with the cat. So okay. And you would have done that too when you schedule the appointment, but it doesn't always get into the appointment notes. So you want to make sure that you're clear on that. So, okay. And then the next most popular thing that you're going to spend a lot of time on. Oh, well, let me back up. We do have other veterinary clinics that we use on a regular basis. Let me pop that open real quick. And so they're all over. And so we have the Greensburg one. Lebanon, we use a lot for amputations and nucleations, really specialized stuff that normally we can get a very fair price on for a rescue, because the veterinarian that owns it used to be the medical director for Indy Humane. So she's super rescue friendly. And so we will make that trek over there for major medical stuff. All Pet Healthcare up in Indianapolis is on the west side, and they have walk-in hours. And so sometimes that's really helpful. Hillview, we haven't been in quite some time. In Fall Creek, we haven't been in a long time either, but Franklin Animal Clinic is the popular one over in Franklin. It can be kind of hard to get in there sometimes, but sometimes we'll do an urgent care appointment, and so we'll get in a little bit quicker. And then there's Franklin Animal Clinic in Greenwood, which is by the mall. It's actually right behind the mall. So, and then there's a few other vet clinics in here that our fosters use as their personal family vet, and so we've added them as a partner so that they can take their fosters there to their family vet. And so either we will keep a card on file, or they'll call us at the end of the visit and we'll pay with a card on phone, over the phone. So we try to make it work. So, and then vaccines only. Sometimes we just need a rabies vaccine or something like that. And so we use Animal House, which is in, it says Greenwood, but really it's kind of between Franklin and Greenwood, and then VIP Pet Care, and that's at Pet Supplies Plus. And I think they're every Saturday or every other Saturday. I can't remember. Okay, but again, if you have a vet clinic you'd like to use, let us know, and we'll see if we can add it to our list. Okay, so the next big one is this purple button here, common medications and their dosages. And so, we practice something called shelter medicine or herd management, which means that we're trying to maximize our resources or limited resources to help the most cats that we can. And so if we suspect a a cat might have coccidia or giardia. I'll use that as an example. Instead of going to the vet and getting a fecal float done or sending a fecal sample off to the laboratory to be read, we'll just assume that it's either coccidia or giardia and treat for both, because it is cheaper for us to treat for both of them than it is to even get an office visit and a fecal float. So it just makes more sense to go ahead and treat them for both. It does no harm. And then if for some reason the medications that we're using for diarrhea aren't working, then we know that we need to go see the vet and probably get a more specialized fecal test done, because coccidia and giardia aren't it. There are some other things that can cause diarrhea that really does need a specialized test done, and it's not smart for us to try to guess at what it is at that point. It's smarter for us just to get the test. So you'll see in terms of like strongid, that's for roundworms. And the strongid is a medium yellow color, and it's sort of like milk consistency. So it's kind of thick, but not like water, and not like a gel or anything. So it will tell you it's 0.1 cc per pound by mouth every 2 weeks. So it will have the dosing on a chart that is in the pharmacy. And I will do a separate video giving you guys a tour of the pharmacy. And I will link that probably at the very top of this card when it's done. So anyway, so you go through here, it tells you what we use it for. Sometimes it'll tell you that it has to be shaken very well before each use, in terms of like Baycox is one. It also, this is a good thing. So let's talk about Panicure real quick. So sometimes when they have coccidia or giardia, the thing about the little cysts, they're microscopic, you can't see them. They are very sticky, and they stick to the fur around the opening where the diarrhea comes out. And so the little cysts will stick to their fur, and then the cat will go to the bathroom. And then after they go to the bathroom, they will clean themselves, and then they ingest the cysts. And then this whole coccidia giardia cycle starts all over again. It's an intestinal parasite. And so once they consume it again, the cycle starts all over again. So it's really important that you follow these instructions. We have to bathe the kitten about every 3 days. And on the day or right after we have bathed the kitten, it is a good idea to throw away the litter. Probably want to use something like a cat pan liner. So throw away the litter, start all over with fresh, and throw the litter scoop away, because those cysts not only stick to the fur, but they also stick to the litter pan and the litter scoop. So while you think you're doing a great job with the medication and bathing the kitten, the cysts are all in the litter and all on the litter box and all on the litter scoop. So it's really important that we follow those instructions. So, okay, so sometimes there's some additional instructions there. I do invite you to, read through this and see all the different stuff that we have on here. And as a general rule, we do carry all of these medications here at the office. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. So, okay, so in some cases, well, maybe just this one, azithromycin has a complicated dosing schedule or chart. So you can see if I click on this, it's actually going to take us to another card. And so that opened up that card. And so we can open this, and now it gives us the dosing. So if it's a 3-pound cat, it's going to be somewhere between 0.17 and 0.34. So I would probably just cut it in half and do 0.25 just to be safe. So sometimes it does take you to another card, and you can see that because it has a little link there. So, okay, so those are the dosages. Those are probably one of the things that you'll access the most. So, and then down below in the medical resources, it has lots of specialized information about like B12 injections. We give those to kittens that are not feeling very well. They might have diarrhea, upper respiratory, just not doing well. It's like an immune system boost. It's very handy. And then anyway, so there's some other stuff in here that is super helpful in terms of basic stuff like nail trimming, how to give a pill. There's lots of links on here where it might have a video that will show you on what to do. So you can click on those and kind of learn how to do some of the basic stuff. Okay. All right, and then Kitten Lady has a great thing here on sub-Q fluids. I will tell you, this is not something that I would necessarily try to do on your own the first time. You would want one of the longtime fosters to be able to be there with you and teach you how to do it. So, but you can get a primer on that. Okay. All right. So we're going to skip the rest of the medical stuff. You can explore that on your own. And then on marketing, you want to go to the very top. Okay. So this is the other thing that you're going to access a lot. And that is after you've done the intake at the very beginning, a few days before they are scheduled to be spayed or neutered, I want you to be filling out the bio form. Okay. The reason being is that volunteer Lori is the one who does all of the writings and editing of the pics in the bio. And she is a volunteer. She has a life. And so she needs a couple of days to be able to process those and get those going. And we want her to have that bio done before or the day of their spay neuter, so that when they come out of the spay neuter, they're ready to go. They're adoptable. They can be seen by the public and they are ready to go. So that's really important to do. So when you click on the bio form, you have to do one for each cat, of course. And it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing earth-shattering here. It's a lot of check boxes. And there is a primer here to gauge whether the kitten is really ready for adoption. So we don't have any diarrhea. There's no upper respiratory. There's no fleas. There's no ear bites. And the cat's acting normal. Okay. And the kitten's nails have been trimmed. So, because we want them to be adoption ready. So it gives you some reasons why we want to make sure all of that is true for this kitten. So that's, again, check boxes. But then you have, some information here where you can type in some stream of consciousness stuff. So again, you don't have to be worried about editing, punctuation, grammar, anything like that. Lori's pretty good at working with what we give her. So just do your best on here and put in, what you know. And like, if you don't know what the kitten's favorite toy is, that's okay. Just say, I don't know. And then Lori won't. I think she had one the other day that had, I don't know what the favorite toy was. And she actually worked that into the bio, basically saying something really cute about you and the kitty can learn all about the very best cat toys or something like that. It was very cute, but she's very clever. So, you'll go down and we want a couple of pictures. We want a headshot. We want a body shot. And then ideally one where it has a person with the cat in the picture. Studies have shown that that pictures of cats with people in them get clicked on more often than pictures that don't have people in them. So it doesn't have to have the person's face. It could be a child where the head is cropped off, and that's fine, or an adult, it doesn't matter. So you have several options to attach pictures here, more the better. And so then you'll hit submit, and then it has a button where you can hit submit another one. So it'll bring up a blank form again, so you can do the next cat kitten. Okay, so that's really important. So let's say Lauren has her kittens that work with her, and Lauren doesn't have a dog. But her coworker brings his dog to work and the kitten meets the dog in their BFFs. So that would be a really good thing to add to that kitten's bio. And instead of doing the whole bio form all over again, you can just click on this abbreviated one that says, it says, if you just need to update pics, location, status, or anything like that, you can use this little abbreviated form. And it is abbreviated. You're not doing color, hair length. You're not doing a vet check of, is this cat healthy and, all that stuff. You're not doing any of that. You're just doing the main stuff that you might be updating. So that's a good one to have bookmarked as well. Okay. So, and then the cage cards, we would want to get you set up with a Shelter Love account. It's very easy to print their cage cards. After Lori has done their bio, you'll be able to go into Shelter Love and see if the bio is done and then be able to print it so that you can take it to the adoption centers. So, okay. All right. So there's some more information in there about marketing and that kind of stuff, but we'll skip that for now. You can explore that on your own. Okay, so adoption centers and events. We'll skip the PetSmart cage card because, again, you can print that directly from Shelter Love now. And we'll do a separate video or a loom probably on how to do that. We'll attach it to that card as soon as it's done. That's actually a recent a development as of June 2026. Lynn has gotten that all squared away for us, and that's wonderful. So we don't have to do the cage cards in store. We can do them ahead of time. And then, okay, so let's go to the very top. Okay, so there's the checklist. You'll notice that this is very similar to what is on the bioform. And again, we're just trying to make sure that the kitten is actually ready for adoption. How to do Shelter Love adoptions. You'll see if you click in here, you will need a login, and you can just let me know if you need one. But then there's how to finalize, and there's a document there for that. Let's get out of there. And adoption centers. So we do have 3 adoption centers, PetSmart in Franklin, Pet Supplies Plus here in Shelbyville, and then feeders in Greensburg. And there's some information about the size of the cages, what kind of cats can go there. The only really weird one is that feeders won't allow feline leukemia positive cats, but we can have them at Pet Supplies Plus and PetSmart. And of course, FIV cats can go at all the locations. But that gives you an idea of the different adoption centers. And I encourage you to visit them so that you can see them. Okay, really important places for public meet greets. So sometimes you might have somebody who's interested in a cat that's in foster care. They might have seen them on Pet Finder or a website or something like that. And so we will use a public space to do a meet and greet. And so the places, of course, are PetSmart in Franklin, Pet Supplies Plus in Shelbyville, Feeders in Greensburg, but also Hollywood Feed, which is on the southeast side of Indianapolis. And I will add some information about our office to that as well. But it is really important that you do not invite strangers into your home to meet a cat or kitten. I would really strongly require you to do it in a public place. When I add the stuff about the office, I will allow people to do that. But again, you cannot be here by yourself with strangers. It is too dangerous. And so one of us can be there with you. You can have a spouse there, but it needs to be another person there with you. Really important. And it's just as easy to use the adoption spaces that we have to do the meet and greets or the office. So, okay. Animal Medical Hospital is now offering 50% off the first exam if they schedule an appointment within 3 days of adoption. So those are in most of the adoption kits now, or the adoption folders. So that's a really nice development. Again, we talked about the PetSmart cage card in Shelter Love. Oh, I keep saying Shelter Love, but a lot of you might not know what this is. Shelter Love is actually our software that we use. It's cloud-based that keeps track of all the cats, what's been done to them. And it also links to Pet Finder and Adopt-A-Pet and our website to be able to push out the adoptable cats to be seen by the public. So it's a wonderful software. It really is. Okay. And all right. Okay. So that gives you an idea on that. And then we get into some specialized stuff. So we have neonatals. Those are bottle babies, and there's lots of resources in here for bottle baby fosters, quick reference kinds of things. Socializing feral kittens. Those are one of my favorites. I just love the ferals. And they really are spicy. So there's some information there. Okay, so now your kittens have either gotten adopted or they've gone on to one of the adoption centers, and now you need to clean up after them and get ready for the next one. So if you're using a playpen, which is the most popular, those are able to be power washed at the car wash. And I would say the car wash here by the office costs, I think, $4 to be able to use the power washer. And so I'm happy to meet anybody over here by the office because it's right next to our office, and let you use the animal outreach card, because it does add up after a while. And I certainly don't expect people to pay money out of their pocket to foster. So if you need to power wash it, let me know, and we'll meet over there and we'll get that squared away. And we also like to use the Dawn power wash, and we keep that here in the office. So we'll use the Dawn power wash to to soak it, and then we'll power wash it off. Okay. And then if you need to use bleach to clean anything, it has a nice little primer on how to mix it. There is a formula. And then of course for laundry, there's really important instructions on what order to do the laundry in. Okay. And then there are some additional information here on fear-free, which is important. Oh, I just really overshot that. Okay, on fear-free, and that is basically instructions, like a really basic thing like scruffing cats. Like we only do that in an emergency. Anyway, it's a good program to take. If you decide that you want to take the class, we're happy to help you get signed up for that and sponsor you. Okay. And then there's a bunch of information over here, things that I know that I need to add that are in process. So if you want something on this board, either it's something that you access on a regular basis or you think that other fosters would find it helpful, then I encourage you to let me know and we'll get that added. Okay, so let's say that you know that you have a kitty with ear mites and you need ear mite stuff. How are you going to do that? Go up here to the search, of course. And then it's going to give you options. All right. And so we're going to click on the first one. It's probably, oh, and look at that. It tells you that you need ivermectin and it gives you the dosing. Okay. And let's see, let's do ear mites again. And it gives us common medications because it shows up there as well. Okay. So there's a couple of different ways to access that. Let's say that you were told that the kitty has coccidia. Well, what am I going to do with that? All right, well, that's going to give you the dosing there. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. So the other thing so now it goes from left to right. So from the very start till the time you find a home for the kitties and you want to start all over again, when you hit the end and you've cleaned out your space and you're ready, then you're going to come right back over here. And you are going to say, yes, I want to foster again and do the on-deck survey again. Okay. So it's just a closed loop. You just keep going. And you're not expected to foster all the time when you sign up to foster. Some folks just want to do it during summer breaks. Some people only want to do it when they're home because they travel a lot. So maybe they're home 2 months and then they're gone again. Well, they can foster, for maybe a month and a half while they're home. So it really is up to you how often you want to foster. And so that's the great thing about this Trello board is that because you might be intermittent or you're not hot and heavy in it, all the time, you're not necessarily going to remember all of this stuff. So having the Trello board is a great reference. I would strongly recommend once you've set up your account again, put that on your home screen on your phone because you're most likely to access it on your phone at 2 a.m. or 4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever you're going to be accessing it during weird times. So, but again, our expectation is not for you to know everything. Our expectation is that you know how to access the resources that we have already provided you. So again, take some time to get familiar with it, learn it. And then if you still need help with navigating stuff, I'm happy to sit down with you and go through it, help you add it to your home screen if you don't know how to do that. So again, thank you again for fostering. And we are always here to help. We are a team. And we've got a great group, I think. Some of the folks have been here for a very long time, and we do have some new folks. So it's a great mix from all walks of life and with all different kinds of interest in cats. And some people have a soft spot for seniors, and some are really into bottle babies and everything in between. So thank you so much again, and I can't wait to get you onboarded. Thanks.